Hi everyone, this is Killshot 99 Dead, and this is The Walking Dead Season 9. Michonne could be gone. The news is starting to spread out there. You guys saw it from Collider, comicbook.com. A lot of people are talking about it. We got a good topic tonight. I'm going to lay a couple of ground rules down here in a couple minutes, but I do want to super chat Valar. Thank you so much, saying hello 99 Army, kill Steph Kells, Emmy, Sweet Tommy, sponsors, patrons, and of course, all of those super chatters out there. So before we get too far into this video, there could be spoilers that get out there. Now, let me say this. This is not a specific spoiler video. It's not going to be a super long video. We're probably going to be less than our normal length of our streams. But I'm not going to zone in and say this is specifically what happens. It's really tough watching the premiere. Many of you have seen the premiere. Some of you are trying to avoid some of the spoilers. If something comes up, we're not blocking people. We're not stopping people. But the conversation is not going to be specifically, hey, at 15 minutes in the premiere, this is what happened. However, we may reference some of the things that happened in the premiere or some of the themes in the premiere really to get us to this point about the Michonne story and how Michonne could be leaving. So before we get into that, it is always interesting to me that when a publication, whether it's TV Guide, Forbes, or even comicbook.com to a certain degree, when they post it and the story gets a little bit of legs, it's all of a sudden a big deal. Before we get into that, I do want to say this is something that we talked about in our streams 6 months ago. We talked about the potential theme, how this could happen. A lot of people have criticized me for saying Michonne's arc could take her in a different direction. And I think we did one specific stream where we just sort of said, well, these are the scenarios. So we're going to bring it back, talk about it all over again, and talk about some potential ways that Michonne could exit the show, whether it's for the better, how they could write it in the season. So June Smith says, Kills, please say it isn't so, not Michonne. She's all I have left of Rick. Oh, boy. June, I don't know how I answer this question, but we know she is a superstar. She's a superstar actor. I mean, do an incredible job on the Black Panther movies. There's going to be other movies that she'll be a part of as well. She's phenomenal, and this may be her next calling. There's not a contract out there. Now, when they were negotiating contracts, she might not have known that her movie career was going to be as great. She probably thought it was going to be good, but it's been fantastic. So we're going to go down path number one. And I know with your heart, you're probably saying, it's open-ended. It's always going to be open-ended. But we don't know that. I'm very, very curious now to see what's going to happen in episodes 15 and 16 this season. Could we potentially see a Michonne death? Now, the problem, go ahead and answer the question. I know 99% of you are going to say no, no, no. But let's think this through a little bit. Not just what she means to us and what she means to the show. Let's think about how a Michonne death or a Michonne storyline could impact everything that happens. Already, it's like, no, it's not possible. Wow, that's some serious resistance here. Okay, at least Julie McGuire says yes, she can die. At least we're open-minded toward the possibility. Now, that means one of two things have happened. Either they're still negotiating, or they've already decided which direction they're going to go, and they're just keeping a really, really good secret about how this is all going to go down. So my common sense factor tells me that more likely than not, she's either going to be vague, it's going to be open-ended, or they're still negotiating. But with that being said, if they did kill her, then the finality of it, that would be a notch on Alpha's infinity belt. I mean, this would be a big, big kill for Alpha, and this would be the type of thing that would take us into Season 10 absolutely hating and despising the Whisperers. I don't know if there is a bigger death on the show. And I do remember the stream. Maybe you guys will remember. Maybe I'll kind of spark a nerve or something. But I actually put down the gauntlet and said Michonne would be the biggest death on the television show. And some people said, nope, it'd be Daryl, it'd be somebody else. And that's where I got a lot of the pushback. And I said, no, this is a big deal with what she's meant to the show. I said it would be the biggest death in the history of The Walking Dead. Right, Gina? And it just got stifled because not a lot of people even wanted to entertain the idea. Now, if she does die, then that means all these articles and all this people thinking that she could be leaving is all just, it's a farce. It's not even happening because it's already been filmed. It's already done. I mean, whatever's happened, happened. And it would probably be one of the best kept secrets in television. Because you know by now, I think if Michonne were to die, one of the spoiler sites would already have that information out there. Fat Joey was the biggest death. I see what you did there, Fluff. Anyway, moving on. Right, Julia. See, they're not good at secrets. And you'd have thought there'd have been like some death dinner or something. But let's think about this for a second. Somebody has died, and somebody major has died. Do we know who it is? Has anyone heard definitively that Ezekiel died and Kari Payton is no longer on the show? Has anyone heard that? 100%. Has anyone got a copy of the script? Have they seen it on Spoiling Dead's fan page? No, not confirmed. I get it, Mystics. Mystics says I feel like Henry might die, but no confirmation that Ezekiel's dead. Ezekiel's a big character. So if he's dead, they're doing a good job of keeping that secret. Okay? How about Christian Serratos? Is Rosita dead? How many people have heard confirmation that Rosita has been piked, that she is no longer on the show? Anybody heard that? Nothing. So I'm not saying it's beyond the realm of possibility that Michonne is dead because we haven't heard any of these things. So they've done a phenomenal job of keeping that from the audience. Drama wants to know, now that we know Rosita's pregnant, will they still kill her? I guess it depends on whether you believe that they're going to go down the road of the comic arc or they're going to go television arc. I think The Walking Dead likes to do a little bit of one to kind of trick us with the other. Right? You know, they may say, okay, well, let's give Rosita the story arc and she's pregnant, and that way they're going to think we're going to kill her, but we're not. That's a possibility, but let's flip it around and do it the other way. Does anyone see more kids on The Walking Dead, and do they see, I'm not going to say the burden, but do they see Rosita in the mom role with the responsibility of a child? It could happen, but it seems very, very out of character for her character. It would be a stretch. June Smith, The Walking Dead are known for tricking us. Yeah, they are. Eugene will be Rosita's martyr. You know, I could see this thing happening. So, well, Rosita's barely pregnant. So I don't think it's going to be a situation where the baby lives and Rosita dies. So I think knowing that Rosita's pregnant, I don't think it's going to change the storyline. I really don't. They're either going to trick us or they're just going to kill her and people are going to say, hey, they just killed a pregnant woman and put her head on a pike. And it just be one of those things that we talk about throughout television. Kimberly M. kills, I understand she could leave, but I could not take Michonne on a pike. Yeah, it would be tough. But it would give Alpha some serious street cred. I'm kind of beyond one of the biggest arguments, and please don't take this personally, because I know I've been there as well before. I don't think there's a lot of stuff that AMC is afraid to do. Honestly, how many of you really think 100%? Is that just like a token response like, no, they can't kill a pregnant woman on TV? Why can't they? I mean, just give me some validation of why they can't. Why can't they kill a child on The Walking Dead? I mean, these are fake characters. So, I mean, the outcry, Deborah, I don't think there's an outcry. How many of you, let me ask this. How many of you would cry to AMC if they killed Rosita because she was pregnant? No, not because she's Rosita, but specifically because she's a pregnant character. Would any of you write a letter to Scott Gimple and say, you can't do that? I think it's something, at this point, people just kind of say it because they don't know if the audience is ready for it. But why is the audience not ready for it? I don't think anything is off limits on The Walking Dead. I mean, I'm not going to say I like it, but I'm just saying that if they're going to show the realism of a zombie apocalypse, pregnant people die, kids die, old people die, tall people die, short people die, blind people die, deaf people may die. I mean, it's just the way it goes. I think our fandom kicks in, and when we really like a character, especially if it's Rosita, and Rosita happens to be pregnant, and it's like, no, you can't kill her. You can't kill her because she's pregnant. And really in the back of our mind, it's like, you can't kill her because she's Rosita, and we don't want her to die. But no one is safe. Which takes us to kind of tonight's theme is Michonne. And it actually rhymes, right? Michonne could be gone. All right. I'm not going to give you direct spoilers, okay? If you think this is going to be a little too much of a spoiler, you can turn away right now, because I am going to reference episode 9, which I just watched. I'm going to give you a theme, but I'm not going to give you anything specific, okay? So you've been warned. If you want to turn away right now and not listen to the next minute, totally your prerogative. So one of the themes, and I saw it already start to take place, we've talked about it. We've talked about how this was going to happen in the second half of the season. The Negan-Judith dynamic is very strong in episode 9. I don't even think Steph the Cuervo Queen can deny that. You're going to see that bond. We made the prediction that Negan will show some feelings for Judith. We started to see it in the jail cell. And that is absolutely going to be a major, major part of the story in the second half. And because it is, I could see Negan taking care of Judith and Michonne perhaps leaving with RJ and leaving Judith to be her own person. Let me say this. First of all, Judith is an absolute badass. who might need some direction, but she also might be able to kind of stand on her own a little bit. But if I were to make a prediction based on what I saw leading up to episode 9, what I'm seeing in episode 9, and what I think that we're going to see continued, I don't think that Negan is trying to be Rick. I don't think he's trying to be her daddy. I think there's a tight bond with them, and there's a strong respect and a strong friendship. I think he loves Judith. I really do. And because Negan he doesn't have kids, and they just have this respect and they understand each other. So, like I said, I'm not going to give you all the specifics. You can watch them this Sunday. I will say you will be pleasantly surprised with Negan's story. And it is, we got a taste of it, but we are going to see it play out, I think, a lot of the way that we predicted it was going to play out. Now, well, Viola, first of all, Judith is not her child. Now, I know I'm going to get some pushback with that. No, she is. It was Rick and Judith's child. Judith is her own person, and Judith is kind of coming to this age where she might do whatever Judith wants to do. RJ is at a different point. RJ is at a point where he relies on Michonne. Judith is at a point where she's already out there shooting at people and doing certain things. And I think Carl in the comic was very mature for his age. And I think Judith in a TV show, you can't look at Judith and say she's a 10-year-old kid that is wet behind the ears and doesn't know what the world is about. Judith is equivalent to physically, no. But mentally and the things that she's already seen, Judith is made for this world. Let me give you a parallel here. If you were in a zombie, I need an honest answer here from everybody. Straight up. This is real talk right here. And by the way, before we get to real talk, everybody pike that like button. Come on now. You guys know how we do this in the 999 Dead, the 999 Army, 999 Gaming. Hit the like button, everybody. Come on, we're about to get hardcore here. All right. And if you're brand new, subscribe, because we will ask some off-the-wall questions. But here it is. You are by yourself in a zombie apocalypse. And you have the choice between having one person by your side, between Eugene, who is an older man, more physically able to do certain things, or Judith, who was born into this zombie apocalypse, and you can only pick one of those to go side by side with you, to be your protector, to be the voice of reason. Who are you going to pick? You going to pick Eugene, or are you going to pick Judith? You're going to pick a man who is older that can probably cut more firewood than Judith, probably carry a few more pounds than Judith, or you're going to pick this little girl that's 10 years old that is built for this. Thank you. I ain't picking Eugene. Almost 100% of you are picking Judith. So I don't think we can view Judith as what we view your typical child as. We look and we compare her to an average person that we see today. Judith she's got some miles. Judith has seen things and witnessed things. She's immune to it. She's hardened toward it. The walkers aren't creeping her out. Eugene is afraid of walkers. Judith is not. Eugene wasn't born into it. Eugene lived a certain life, and then all of a sudden everything was a shock. So, if we were to look at this and Michonne will have to hit the road and take RJ. I don't know that Michonne necessarily needs to go over and say, hey, grab your stuff, Judith, you're going with me. Judith might say, no, I'm not. I'm going to stay here and protect these people. They need me. I could see her putting her foot down and there being a division between Michonne and Judith. I'm not giving you a guarantee that this is the way this is going to take place. All I'm saying is, if they need to write a storyline for Michonne's exit, Michonne could bolt with RJ, someone else, and Judith could stay behind. I would be okay with that story. I don't think they pulled Judith off the show. So I'm going to give you 3 scenarios, okay? Scenario 1, and you get to pick one of these 3. Scenario 1, Michonne dies, she becomes a Pike. Scenario 2, as I just stated, Michonne leaves with RJ and Judith stays behind. Scenario 3, Michonne leaves, RJ and Judith leaves. 1, 2, or 3, everybody. Scenario 1, she dies. Scenario 2, she leaves with RJ, Judith stays behind and partners with Negan. Or scenario 3, all 3 of them take off. As stated, most people they're typing 2, right? So that means most of you as viewers are already okay with the fact that there could be a Michonne-Judith split. And if you're okay with it, I'm okay with it. If all of us are okay with it, the writers are going to be okay with it, which probably means the general viewing audience would be okay with it as well. 3 was she takes both of them with her. And I think we also understand from the comic, if Judy has a little bit of Carl's comic arc, there were times that you could see Carl and Rick going separate ways even when Carl was a child. And I think you can see a little bit of that with Michonne and Judith already. Tanya, you're not suggesting that RJ is not real somehow, are you? I'm only reading half of that. RJ is as real as the air you're breathing. RJ is so real on the 999 gaming site. I have a onesie that you can purchase that specifically says RJ is real. So if you know anyone expecting, if you know anyone that needs a onesie, and in fact, I might even buy the RJ is real onesie and send it to Rosita in honor of her pregnancy. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Lucille, give me strength. Lucille, give me strength. Okay. All right. We got Christopher Sage says, why did Negan put on Rick's clothes? Trying to make sense of it. Kang's intention. Did it bother you? No. And that is a spoiler. So, Christopher, I'm going to answer this. We do have some people, and I'm going to try not to do specifics. And we are going to wind this thing down because I don't want to get into too many spoilers. I don't think it's the worst spoiler we could have, but I'm going to ask you guys just to refrain from any more. Let me go ahead and just tackle this one real quick. We know that Negan was leaving Alexandria anyway. So Negan needed to change clothes. That's why he put on Rick's clothes. Not a major spoiler, but he needed something to wear. We know from the teaser he was walking around in Judith's room. We also know that Negan was in the sanctuary, so people don't freak out and like, oh my God, you just told me. But yes, he did put on some gear, and that just happened to be the house he was in, and he needed something to fit him. So, fair enough. All right, you guys have answered many of the questions. I said this is going to be a little bit shorter stream. So just as a really, really quick recap, Michonne could be gone. This is something we've talked about for 6 months. I think it's going to happen, to be perfectly honest with you. So I'm going to ask you guys right now, answer one more time. The odds of Michonne leaving. So if you think, Lakeisha says, sorry, I had to pull over. Is Michonne leaving? Sorry for being late. That is the word. And you know what, Lakeisha, I'm going to kind of end the stream on this question with everybody. Give me a quick one if you think Michonne will somehow be back for season 10. Give me a 2 if you think that she will not be back for next season. A 1 if you think that they'll sign a new contract and she will make it for season 10. Or number 2 if she's not going to be on the show. I'm going to say number 2. I'm going to say she's not going to be on there. I don't think they work out a contract with her, and I think she's got bigger fish to fry. I think she's gone. Now, it doesn't mean that we won't see her in a movie. Funny, most of you are picking that she will be back. But I think a lot of it is you're hoping that she'll be back. Because, look, we know what happened, right? Andy wasn't under contract. He's gone. Chandler wasn't under contract. He's gone. Lauren wasn't under contract. She's gone. I mean, it doesn't mean they can't work it out, but we know that Norman has a contract. We know that Melissa has a contract. I mean, I think there's a lot of hope in there. And the fact that she's probably making, what do you think, $10 million a movie? Compared to probably $1 million for a whole Walking Dead season? Let's do the math here. Does she really need to work for 10% of what she can make doing movies just to be Michonne? Just to carry the legacy of Michonne? Right, Emmy? Emmy's like, I'd be gone. I'm out. She doesn't owe us anything, everybody. I mean, you know, we love our characters and we want them to be here for a long time, but the reality is they have to do what's best for their own career. And for that reason, I don't think she comes back. And movies are easier than the grind on this TV show. And Deborah, I think you're right. She could. I think could is the key word there. There's people calling her a sellout. You're a sellout. You're not staying here and being our Michonne forever. Right, Lisa. I agree with that. Lisa Haldum says, I understand, just don't want it. But she's got to do what she's got to do. So, hey, with that, everybody, we are at 28 minutes, so we're going to wind this stream down. As I said, we don't want to talk too many spoilers. As an announcement, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, we will be streaming here. We will be talking spoilers. So, if you have watched the premiere, then you'll want to be here tomorrow night. If you've not watched the premiere and you just don't care and you want to hang out here tomorrow night and you want to talk about it and super chat it and break it down, tomorrow night will be the night that we are going to talk about spoilers. I want to thank you guys because most people were on their best behavior. There was a few little hints, but nothing major that was unveiled. So some of the people that got into this chat tonight, we did. I thought we had some good dialogue, some good conversation, and we kind of kept it at bay a little bit. So thank you. Appreciate everybody for being involved with that. I want to give a super special shout out to all the patrons in top left-hand corner. If you guys are interested in becoming a patron, a little bit more information, some polls, some surveys, some interaction, there's a link down below. Top right-hand corner is all the sponsors. The moderators are awesome. Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kells, doing what they do every night. Just a tremendous group. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do. Also, the super chatters here tonight. We had Villar, June Smith super chatting, Kimberly M, Christopher Sage, and also Lakeisha Faison. Thank you so much. Appreciate everything that you guys do. And for everybody else, give me a quick 999. I want to do some shout outs. And we will be back here tomorrow night at 9:30 on this channel. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do for making this channel fun, exciting. We're also going to do a stream Thursday night at 9:30, topic yet to be determined. It'll probably be a little bit around episode number 10. And then, of course, Saturday, we're going to do our Saturday for our international viewers. And then Sunday is going to be Walking Dead Day, and we're going to count it down the way we always do. So thank you so much for being here. D.D. Ohio, James Kelly, Fluff Salisbury, Joey the Gator, Hippo in the House, Dark Stark, Kimberly M, Crystal Singer Chick, Cammy, J.B., Wilson, Julia Muse, June Smith, Gamesley Games, Investigation Limited, Victoria G., Angela Lewis, Amy Ferreira, Robert H., Diana C., Lakeisha, Robin Vance, Michael Mendez, Tammy Hill, Viola McGowan, Angela Gam. A lot of new faces here. I'm going to ask you guys, subscribe to all three channels, 999 Gaming, 999 Dead, and 999 Army, and hit the notification button because we will be streaming on all three throughout the season. Coma Drug, thanks for being here. Sam B., Deborah Johnson, thank you so much. Who else we got here? Glenda Batista, Edwin Gonzalez. Awesome, awesome group tonight. Appreciate you guys being here. Lisa Khaleesi, thank you. If you guys are Game of Thrones fans, you're definitely going to want to be on the 999 Army channel because we're going to start ramping up our Game of Thrones conversation within the next couple weeks. We got The Passage going on over there already. So, and if there's new shows that we like, we're going to jump all over those as well. Sheila Mack, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate that. If I ever miss you guys in a shout out, then please don't take it personally. I will catch you guys on the next one. I got Gina Crockett. Thank you so much for being here. Gina, Drama King, thank you. Lisa Haldum, thank you. All right, everybody, we hit 30 minutes, so I will see most of you here. Phyllis, thank you. Ramona Heath, I'll see most of you here tomorrow night at 9:30. Have a good night. Peace.